Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Zach Humphreys, and if you're just stumbling across this video, I've been an entrepreneur for 5 years, and I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time because there are a lot of things that nobody really tells you until you're in it, right? And the best way to learn something, obviously, is to jump in head first. You have to figure it all out on the fly a lot of times. And being an entrepreneur for the last 5 years, I've learned a ton and I'm still growing and learning. And I hope you subscribe to the channel to continue to follow me along this journey and we can help each other. I know I can offer you some things along the way. I've got a ton of videos already out on the channel. And when I think back to where I was when I started, comparing to where I am today, a lot of people would say, oh, the biggest difference is capital, the biggest difference is money. I don't really think that's it. It's not the amount of followers I've gained on my other YouTube channels. It's not how many businesses I've started and stopped. It's really my mindset and the way I think. And entrepreneurship has completely changed the way I look at risk, the way I look at failure, the way I look at money, the way I look at time, the way I look at life, and even the way I look at myself. It's a culture shock at first. And if there's one thing I've learned over the last 5 years, it's that being an entrepreneur is basically a constant process of reinventing yourself. And in my experience, you can't get so fixated on one thing or the other. You've got to always be willing and able to pivot. And the version of you that gets you started when you decide to jump in and become an entrepreneur, it's not going to be the version of you that's going to actually get you to the next level. It's an iterative process and it happens slowly over time. So, in this video, I want to talk about the good, the bad, the mistakes, the wins, the losses, some of the biggest things I've learned over the last 5 years. And I think the first lesson I want to start with is nobody really knows what they're doing. Let's just be real. One of the funniest things about starting a business is that you assume successful entrepreneurs have everything figured out. And then you become one, right? Once you've got it all figured out. And you realize that everybody is figuring it out as they go. Any successful entrepreneur I've ever met, they're constantly learning, they're constantly evolving. And obviously, like, experience matters. The more experience you have, the better entrepreneur you're going to be, right? Knowledge matters. You have to understand what it is you're trying to do and understand the marketplace, and having a plan matters. But you're never going to have all the answers before you start. And I think what separates entrepreneurs and non-entrepreneurs, I think one of the biggest things is being able to jump in and know that you're not going to have it all figured out. I've launched things that I thought were going to work that didn't. Many things. I've had ideas that I wasn't completely sure about turn into great opportunities. Like, things that I didn't think were going to be a big thing became a big thing. And then things I thought were big things were nothing at all. And I've changed my mind countless times along the way. I'm in a process right now in my journey where I'm trying to find the next big thing. And one of the things is posting to this channel more because I like making this content rather than just financial content. I make content about the markets as well, but getting out of that realm a little bit, finding another avenue for my creativity. And I want to make videos like this more, right? But at some point, you have to become comfortable making decisions without all the information you need. That's entrepreneurship in a nutshell. You make the best decision you can with what you have in front of you today. And then you adjust along the way. You got to jump in and fix things on the fly. If you wait until you're 100% certain about something, it's just usually another way of procrastinating. And we all fall victim to that at some point in our lives. Now, lesson two is I want to kind of hit on this a little bit more. You've got to be able to reinvent yourself. And it's the biggest lesson for me that I've learned in the last 5 years. What worked 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, probably won't work today. When I started making financial content 5 years ago, that kind of content and that style, I've had to adapt. I've had to change. Markets change, technology changes, social media changes, algorithms change, customers change, competition changes, what people want. changes. AI is changing entire industries right now, right? And if you're running a business, you don't get the luxury of just saying, well, this is how I've always done it. Ask people in the .com era how that worked out for them. It did not work out well. You got to evolve. I've tried different businesses, I've tried different ventures, different content, different platforms, different partnerships, different ways of monetizing my content. Some have worked, some haven't. But I'm always asking myself, what's next? What else can I do? What skills do I need to learn? Where's the attention moving? Where's the money moving? What are people going to need 2 or 3 years from now? Maybe I can get out ahead of it, start doing it now. And I think some entrepreneurs fail because they fall in love with the thing that made them successful instead of falling in love with adapting and being willing and able to do it. Your business model shouldn't become your identity because sometimes you have to kill the old version of your business to basically build a better one and a bigger one and a more successful one. Lesson 3 is all about being okay with failing. It's going to happen. I've had tons of things fail over the years. Everyone who's been doing this long enough has, and they will tell you. It doesn't have to be a dramatic failure where everything collapses overnight, right? Sometimes it's a project you spend months working on and nobody cares. Sometimes it's a partnership that doesn't work, but you just keep going. You pick up the pieces and you figure it out. And the last thing I'll leave you with is consistency is boring, but it's incredibly powerful. Just showing up every single day, doing something, moving the ball forward. And I'm going to make more videos about this in the future, but I wanted to put this out there. Let me know your thoughts down below. I appreciate you all for watching.